Welcome to Aribuwe, a video series hosted by the youth for the youth. My name is Zandile Khumalo, and I'm the host for this episode once again. Today, we have a very special guest joining us all the way from Cape Town, Mr. Fadiel Adams, the leader of the National Colored Congress. Thank you for taking the time to...
No, what a pleasure, Zandile. What a pleasure.
You've created a name for yourself. And people have seen you on social media, more recently on TikTok. But for many of people who really don't know who Mr. Adams is, just maybe tell us who you are and give us a breakdown on the kind of person that you are.
I'm a normal product of the Cape Flats. You know, people say I'm this and I'm that. People must understand that there's a million just like me. There's nothing special about me. You know, I'm from a broken home, single parent, loving mother, protective mother. Brilliant student. Not to blow my own horn or anything. But,
You've got the brains.
yeah, I do. But I didn't have the work ethic. I believe that school hours should only be till first interval. You know, that was my style, and I managed to do okay at school. And because of my attitude towards school, it wouldn't pay off later in life because I'd catch on all types of nonsense. You know, I was a more than decent athlete. I could have done something else with my life, but I chose gangsterism. It was a bad move.
Yes.
You know, I don't know many successful gangsters. As a matter of fact, most of my friends are either in jail or dead. I got hooked on drugs. Spent a large percentage of my life on it. Wasted years I can't get back. Went back to work. Started a small business, employed a few people, just like 90% of the country. I looked at the situation in the country. I said, no, man, that's enough. And I said, I'm grateful. And well, I think you know the rest.
So what has been some of the misconceptions people have about you? Many would say you're distractive. What would be some of the misconceptions that you have picked up that people would say?
I don't know if there's such a thing as I don't think people misunderstand me. I don't need to explain myself to people who refuse to understand me. All I want is a better place in this world for everyone. And that includes people like me.
And then why politics? Why do you feel like you want to dominate this space? What kind of difference do you want to make?
It's not that I want to dominate. But I'm not going to sit and watch injustice just slide by. I don't want to dominate anything. I'm not even the dominant character in my house. You know, I've got 2 women in my house, or only one of them is my wife, and they dominate. You know, all I want is fairness. If somebody's doing something that's going to have a negative impact on somebody else, I'm going to raise my voice, and more than my voice if I need to. You see, I live by a very simple creed. If you see something wrong, do something about it. If you can't do something about it, speak out against it. And if you can't speak out against it, pray about it. And if you can't do any of the 3, then you're a waste of space. Now, I choose to do something about it.
Your political party is predominantly focused on colored people, more especially in the Western Cape. Why the divide? Why should people in the Northern Cape, Gqeberha, or even Joburg vote for you?
That's a very simple answer. First of all, I didn't create the divide. The divide was here. It was here. It's always been here. It's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere while we pretend that there's no divide. We don't have the funds to contest or even campaign in the Eastern Cape and the Northern Cape. We don't. We don't have the funds to contest in Johannesburg or KZN. Just getting here for this interview has killed me financially. If we had the money, we would have done here exactly what we do in the Western Cape. We don't. Maybe one day we will. They should vote for us because our struggle is their struggle. It's a common struggle. The colored people have been marginalized to the point where it needed a frustrated man like me to stand up. Now, I can tell you, I don't want to be the one standing up. I believe there's better. I believe there's more qualified, more fit, more able, but they're taking too long. I believe I'm keeping the seat ready for the right person. That's all I'm doing.
Do you believe that the colored community has been neglected by the government, and why?
Well, the ANC has admitted it. I mean, I think that admission is enough, but I'll take it a step further. In the Western Cape, 50%, 53% of the population is colored. We're expected to live on 10% of the jobs. It's a genocide of our people. That's what it is. And people can't see it. I mean, there's a correctional court order, constitutional court order, Correctional 6 of 1996. where the government was taken to court by a handful of prison warders. And the Constitutional Court said to government, you cannot impose national demographics on a regional scale because it will decimate minority groups. Did the ANC care? They did it anyway. You can come to any police station in Cape Town. Tell me how many colored policemen you see. Go to any hospital in Cape Town. Tell me how many colored nurses you see. Go to any retail center. Tell me how many colored people you see. You would swear you'd go in KZN. Colored people don't work. Colored people don't benefit. People in this country act as if we didn't contribute to our freedom. I would be the first to admit that after colonization, colored people were treated better than black people. We were. Apartheid gave us crumbs. Certain people say privileges. I say crumbs. But you know what we did with those crumbs? We said to the National Party, we will not allow you to treat our black brothers and sisters in this way. And 1994 came, and I was among the fools who went knocking on people's doors saying, freedom is coming, vote ANC. And then the ANC lost the Western Cape to the National Party, which I still think, I can't understand the betrayal. And then the ANC took a knife and stuck it into the back of the colored community, and I don't think we'll ever recover from it.
Why is this political party so close to you, and why do you want to keep it alive?
It's the only party in this country that speaks directly to my needs. Mine, as a colored parent, as a colored living in a war zone, operating in a war zone, with family dying in that war zone. As a colored parent whose children struggle to find work. As a colored parent who once upon a time threatened to shut down a school if his son wasn't accepted because the school was literally 90 seconds away from his house. This party stands for all of that. I will tell you, and people can think I'm lying. We're all about equality. Give us equality, I'll go away. You'll never hear from me again. This government, it won't. So we're getting ready for war. I'm saying to you, let every province rule itself. This central system of government is not working for us.
But won't it create a divide even more if each area rules itself?
How much more divided are we? Can we get? How much more divided can we get? The ANC, well, not the ANC, government tried to erase Zuma. What did the Zulu do? They burnt KZN. Why? You won't touch one of us. There's a hostile takeover of the Western Cape happening. The Eastern Cape is taking it. They're taking it. We must not hide away from it. Do you know what's going to happen? Today is going to come and colors are going to get hot full. There's going to be a war. I'm not asking for it. I don't want it. I can tell you it's going to be ugly. I can tell you this country is not going to recover from that. We need to talk about these things so we can act about these things. This is government's response to the problem. They don't want to see it. But it's going to come.
How do we guard from that? Because I hear that let everyone govern themselves. I still believe there is separation, yes, but how are we going to stop this whole fight from happening, or that war that you're speaking about from even happening, if we're still promoting that divide also at the same time?
How is using a federal system of government creating a divide? How is it happening? I'm saying if Johannesburg believes in capital punishment and the citizens of Gauteng vote for it, by all means do it. If the Western Cape doesn't, that's okay. That's all I'm saying. We must actually find the time to find the facts. The facts are the following. While I may love you as a sister, culturally, we have very little in common. Culturally, the laws of this country might suit me, but they may discriminate against you. I'm saying, allow every province self-governance. That's all I'm saying.
Most colored people or colored communities felt as though the former Cape Town mayor, Patricia De Lille, deserted them the moment she stepped into the national office and became the minister. How are you? How are you? Because they're now turning to you as, please save us. So how are you going to make sure that you don't desert them the same way?
If you're asking me to criticize Patricia De Lille, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to criticize Patricia De Lille for the simple reason that the whole country is trying to break down women like her. Do I agree with her decision? No, I don't. Will I criticize her? Not at all. What I can tell you is that the NCC is not here for coalition politics. We are here for change. How that change comes, I can't tell you at this stage. If ever talk of a coalition should come, it is our business to go back to our voters and say, these are the options. Please give us a mandate. But for us to go and sit in a dark little room with an ANC or a DA, that will not happen.
So you're not completely scratching out the idea of a coalition, but it's a matter of you bring it to us, we go back to our people, we consult. Is this something that will
100%, and if I may shorten it for you, it's a case of what is it that my people want? Not me. What do my people want?
How do you make sure that when you enter those spaces, you don't lose your value as the NCC?
We've been in council for 3.5 years. We are the only party in the history of this country to successfully put DA officials before the courts for fraud and theft. Now I say to you, there are over 300 political parties in this country. One party, brand new, is killing the Democratic Alliance from inside. The question is, what are the rest of them doing? I think it's a valid question. Because very often I looked across that council and I said to myself, 231 councillors in here, only 7 of them working. You know, pre-94, I was black. Well, I thought I was black. 1994, no, but you misunderstood us. You're actually colored. Please stand that side.
Yes.
Again.
We move into the youth. Me, of course.
This is the part where I get up.
No, it's the part where you sit and you tell me and everybody else that's behind me. How unemployment is a huge issue in this country. We say it countless times. We've spoken to different political leaders who shared their views on what they'll do to alleviate this problem. Some will say, we give the youth the power, create jobs, we give you money, we make sure that you create that employment for yourself. Where do you stand?
There are so many things wrong with our society. You want to empower the youth? Let's do this. Let's scrap the 430 Rand social grant. Scrap it. Scrap it. Let's take that 430 Rand and work wisely with the money. Let's give every child 3 meals a day at school. Breakfast, lunch, and something to take home for supper. Let's invest 200 Rand a month for every child, for his full school career. The caveat being, you need to finish school. Boom, there goes the dropout rate. When you finish school, you may have 150, 250, I don't know how investments work so well, you need to speak to Fadiel Sakina. You've got 200,000 Rand as an investment to either further your studies or start a business. Why are we feeding something that's never going to go away? Government must be brave enough and say, you know what, this is what we're going to do. We want youth empowerment? Yeah, we can talk with him. Oh, we're going to give you money. Where's the money going to come from? Where's it going to come from? NSFAS is struggling to pay. Where is the money? You see, this is why when political parties are, this is literally what I do. Because they're telling you what you want to hear. The only party for me in this country whose manifesto was worth a read is ours and the EFF's. Everyone else, it's a rehash of someone else's, or it's a whole lot of smoke. There are some things in there that the EFF is advocating that every party should advocate. Every party.
Which is? Give us a hint. Give us a hint.
When they talk about nationalizing the mines, how can 5 or 6 families be the sole beneficiaries of all our mineral wealth? How is that possible? How is it possible for the biggest platinum producer, the country with the most gold reserves in the world, has hungry people, has children, black children in the Eastern Cape dying in pit latrines, while 5 families, funders of some of the big political parties in this country, are raking in billions? I agree with the EFF on certain, not all issues, certain issues. I think every rational person should agree with Malema on certain issues. The problem we have in this country with Fadiel Adams and Julius Malema is we are too abrasive for certain people. But let me tell you something. As abrasive as I am, there's no one in this country that's going to tell me I'm not effective. Because when I tell you I'm going to do something, I want you to understand my sister. It's going to get done.
Crime is a huge issue in our country. Not a day a woman walks on the streets and feel safe in any parts of the country. How do you even begin to deal with the issues of crime? How do you make this country safe again?
It's a short question with a long answer, but I'm going to give you the short version. We've been saying it for years. Give our children jobs before the gangs give them jobs. Do you know what the state has said to us? No. That is one of the primary drivers to crime. The other one is drugs. The other one is overcrowding. Now, the answers are simple. There's so much land in the Western Cape. I mean, take a drive through it. Why is government intent on keeping us crowded? The link between overcrowding and crime is there. It's scientifically proven. Overcrowding and early mortality is there. You want to do away with crime? Go hard after drugs. It's very simple. Longer mandatory sentences. Do you know it's easy for an 18-year-old to find a gun and a job on the Cape Flats? Government is not looking the other way. In my view, government is complicit in the killing of our children. We are tired of beating our futures. I mean, you are the future. I'm not going to live forever.
And just like that, that is how we wrap up Aribuwe. Conversations with political leaders to understand their manifestos, but also who they are beyond them. Thank you for taking the time.